Welcome back. Did you know that as at 2019 of gender-based violence, there was a sudden influx of gender-based violence cases, which as at 2022, we have 5,009 individuals complaining of gender-based violence. And those are just not the accurate numbers. Those are just, what are they called? A rough idea. A woman assaulted a young boy. Every 5 minutes is like right now to the next 5 minutes. A young woman, a young boy, a young child, anyone. There's a lot of assault going around. There's pressure, especially after the COVID period. There's a lot of influx. But I'll allow Susan Nyabena to tackle more about it. She is my very gorgeous guest.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm doing good, yourself?
I'm doing well. How are you feeling? Yes, karibu sana.
Thank you.
Who is Susan Nyabena?
I would say Susan Nyabena, I basically go by, I'm a human rights and gender equality consultant. So basically I cover quite a range of gender issues. We offer two also gender services. Yeah.
Gender Inc. What is Gender Inc?
Gender Inc is it's a gender consulting firm. We do offer services for profit. We are a consulting firm. We offer services like gender audit and assessment. We do for corporate organizations. We also do that for projects sometimes. We help organizations and corporates to build gender policies, that encompasses also sexual harassment policies, na vitu kama hizo, in regards to 16 days of activism. We also do research, gendered research to be specific. There is a gap. We had noticed a gap in terms of gender desegregated research, especially in an African context. And then at our heart, we do have sexual and reproductive health packages. So we have comprehensive sexual education. We do it for schools. And then we do have GBV forum, the one that we're now talking about today. And then we have something on positive masculinity. So basically, implementing transformative masculinities to be able to change from what is usually termed as toxic masculinity. Yes.
So you turn toxic masculinity into positive masculinity.
Yes. Yeah.
So what are the goals and maybe the main focus of Gender Inc?
I would say like I said, our heart is mostly on sexual and reproductive health. Reason being, we tend to for you to enjoy rights or for you to be able to be empowered. So as we say, you need to at least have, the power or the will or the autonomy to decide about your body. If you can't decide anything about your body, we don't think you can actually make decisions about anything else. You can't go out voting if you can't actually, let's say, decide what kind of contraceptives you would take. You would engage the kind of person you want to get married to or when you want to have children. So if you can't actually decide on what happens to your body, then basically you will not be able to enjoy the rest that are out there. You cannot actually say that, I am gender equal or I'm enjoying gender equity. So hence we have that at the heart. So we feel like if people are empowered enough to, have that autonomy, we call it reproductive autonomy about their bodies, then from there, they'll be able to be equal or champion for rights or fight for rights on other aspects, yes.
You deal with all genders?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We deal with men. We have packages for men. We have packages for women, and then for children. On packages for children, children are sensitive to deal with. So basically, when we prepare packages for children, let me talk about comprehensive sexual education that we do have for children. It's curated for different age groups, for the current needs. What we experienced when we were younger, zile enzi zetu versus what this current generation is going through is quite different. There are things definitely same. We do borrow, what worked, the good practices back then. But hizi zenye ziko sahi, they have different, with technology, with internet, with everything. So we are able to
have so much access to information.
Yes. And then unfortunately, too much information out there, you cannot be able to know which one is true, which one is false.
Not,
you know, they just consume all of it. Yes.
You've said you have packages for girls, packages for boys, men and women.
Yes.
Maybe take us through each package and what it consists of.
Okay, so packages for women, this is in terms of the sexual and reproductive health package that we do have. Because for other services that we offer, it's wholesome and mostly does for corporate, and then we have other things for community engagements. Ground. So this one for women, definitely we'll talk about you know, contraceptives, which is key. We'll talk about sexual gender-based violence. That covers both. Actually, we have the same topics for both. It's just that the training is different for the different audience. So for both men and women, we talk about contraceptives. So for women, we know what their options are. For men, we know what their options are. We're trying, you know, getting responses on what are their thoughts about vasectomy, you know. And now that spermicide is coming, you know, we're trying to see if men watakubali to take the tablets. We'll see how that goes. It focus contraceptives. And then we talk about gender-based violence, covers all. We do have men who've been battered before, or they're still in active abusive relationship. We have men who've been raped, sodomized, same for women. So basically we do run on those, just to mean the key ones, yes.
Are those services free, or for you to get services you have to pay?
Okay, it depends. So most of the time when we do training, we wouldn't do like one-on-one. So you find like it's a, you know, we'll do a group. Most of that we'll do it through organizations. So like you find, let me talk about CBOs or NGOs. They will have, maybe they would have program that focuses on men or women, and then you know, we feel like they should be trained about this. So they will consult us for those services. So they are not free. Yes, we do charge. However, when we are dealing with the community, we offer a subsidized rate as opposed to when we're dealing with corporate. So let's say we are training corporates on issues of gender-based violence, you know, it will be their package is different, their quotation is different as opposed to when we are going to the community. Because then again, we do have a segment of Gender Inc. that we give back to the community. So we give the services to the community at a subsidized rate because we are also supporting the community and creating awareness about such issues. Yes.
Gender Inc. has rebranded, yes?
Yes.
What's the difference between the old Gender Inc. and the new Gender Inc.?
Okay, let me say we just build on it. We haven't really like completely shifted. So Gender Inc. started more of like a blogging site, kinda. The purpose of it was to tell stories. We wanted to tell African stories from, you know, gender perspective, African-wise. Because whatever the Western people are facing, or the challenges that they do face, or their concerns that they have, are very quite different with what we have in African context. So having to talk about gender issues that we face, you know, we tend to believe, oh, you know, if the Western world, you know, they're past this or they don't do this, so, you know, why are we doing this in Africa? It should have been different. But you see, we have quite a long way to go. So we need to appreciate where we are, realize our challenges, and then be able to build from there. So that is how we started, and we'll do videos and conversations and everything. So now we rebranded because we realized there is a big gap. Like, we focused more on the community and people on the ground, but we realized at huko juu, people, like, you know, are having, there is this gap. You know, I have interacted with individuals in corporate levels who have, you know, been sexually harassed, or, you know, they've been dismissed of works, and, you know, I don't know, you said something and everything. So we realized that even most of these HR at corporate level, they don't really have the background about gender issues. It is more of a close, like, you know, this organization or this company, you know, is against sexual harassment, and then that's it. But what is it? How
what
do
are you doing to be against
and how would you handle a case? Let's say if I come and report to the HR, you know what, this particular individual is harassing me. So how are you able to, you know,
deal with it?
Yes, and walk through the victim, you know, be able to protect, you know, one of them. Because most times, the story is more about the victim than the perpetrator. People are, oh goodness, alafu ukafanya, oh ama ulijipeleka huko, ama, you know, yeah, you know, we mbona unakujanga ofisi mapema, or things like that, as opposed to, you know, talking about the perpetrator and shaming him.
Yeah.
You see, and then we also have incidences of, it's a tricky situation and sensitive when people are dating and one is at a senior position than the other. So let's say a senior is dating a junior. We would recommend, and we help develop policies, like we had said, and we'll talk about, you know, we'll have consent form. Because sometimes people do date, you know, willingly, consenting. And then relationship ikisha, it's heartbreaking, it's painful, and we all want to get back. So sometimes, let's say I am the junior, he is the senior. By the time relationship inaisha, see, I would go and say, unajua HR, unajua huyu mwanaume has been harassing me, and see the kind of text he's been sending, and see, so it's unfortunate that the society that we are, men are always perpetrators until proven innocent than otherwise. So sinikifika HR, before the guy gets to say his story, he's already lost his job. So we encourage organization to have this consent form, so that when the two of you meamua mnataka, and there is power play, there is it's a relationship of power play, you go and sign. Sasa relationship ikiisha, mdeal tu na heartbreak venye mtadil nayo at a professional level. Yes, you don't go on saying unajua, and then you don't go on sabotaging, yes. So we do have that. So at least we are able to create awareness at the workspace. Yes.
Unaingia kwa relationship na contract.
Yes. Kinda, yes.
So other than that, what other services do you offer now outside corporates? Now tukuje huku mashinani, huku mtaani.
Okay, for mashinani, you see, the uniqueness of mashinani is that they have different needs and concerns. So we customize whatever they would want and the services that they would want. So sometimes you find just training on women empowerment, on them having a voice, on them, just being able to, how do I say, sometimes let's say, okay, let me use an example that many people will relate with when we are talking about economic empowerment. So we will talk to women about economic empowerment, the different businesses that they could start with little capital. We'll talk to them about microfinances that are available for them in the particular area. We would also connect them, we'll do like internet networking. So we'd connect them with different organizations that, maybe they're offering capital or, technical training for them. So in this way, they're able to benefit. We're able to train them how to do that. And then again, kuna incidences that, yes, you've applied, let's say, for a particular fund, you're supposed to get it, you've qualified. But you see, before upate hiyo pesa, there is also issues of sexual gender bias.
Someone wants something for you to get something.
And most of the time is no money, because hata hiyo pesa yenye unapewa ni kidogo, like breba nataka, it's actually the whole money, yet you've got to pay back. So kuna issues of your sexual gender based violence na vitu kama hizo. So for them, it's different depending with the conversation they would want to have. Tunaenda mashinani, like you just flow. And then, we also consider issues of culture, different cultures, different, needs and concerns. Yes.
Wow. That is a very, very interesting. So allow me to ask, at Gender Inc., what's the plan you have for the hashtag 16 days of activism against gender-based violence? What is it you have planned as an organization that is very much against GBV and the violence?
Yes, okay, one, we do have these t-shirts actually. This is just one of them. We have like 3-4 designs. So we are doing like a fundraiser. We did one last year, and we're also doing again another one this year. So people will buy t-shirts, that is one. Two, this time we are having conversations on social media, on our social media platform. Mostly we are ending the violence, yes, but how the angle we are taking this year, or the approach we are taking this year, is that as individuals, like, let's say, let me use me as an example. So I'm out here, I'm against gender-based violence, it needs to come to an end. However, have I been a perpetrator at any point? If not, have I enabled perpetrator behavior?
Yes.
For example, what I need to me a corporate, because we are kind of in a corporate setting. Like I was saying, so unapata, it's a situation, there is a victim, there's a perpetrator. Sasa mbona unaenda kuuliza victim, wewe ulikuwa unafanya nini hapo? Why did you come in the... Mi hata sielewangi. There's one. It's like anatakanga tu kuonekana yeye ndio anafanya kazi. That is enabling perpetrator behavior. Those questions are supposed to be asked to the perpetrator. The victim is already dealing with so much, where we focus on this perpetrator. At the community, there is this new term that is being coined, society inatembea. So, people are trying to sugarcoat the pedophiles, and then they say sijui unattracted sijui minors or attracted minors. So for this one,
what?
Yes, I'll get the right one, and I think I will share with you, or maybe if you go on a break, I'll share with you. So what happens? It is like, now that you can be anything,
persons.
Kinda, yes, actually, it's like you can be inaitwaje, now that we can actually say this is who I am and you should take me, nikikwambia mimi ni huyu, that is what you should
this
take.
is who I am and you should take me for who I am.
Yes. Now you see, pedophiles tend to be like, oh, me, I consider myself as a child, so kama, I got attracted to a child, just like, you say, under policies, let's say we're trying to balance it out. Let's say mtoto wa form 2, a boy impregnates a form 2 girl. See, these two, previously we have the boy go to juvenile, and then the lady, should give birth to go back to school. But you see, Saizi, we are trying to prevent your story, boys to go to juvenile, because at the end of the day, they're both children. So how do you expect?
We can't expect the girl to. We can't say that the girl could not make sound decisions, but then you expect the boy to make sound decisions.
Yeah, you see. So that is actually a form of inequality that people have been. So long as you're just a man, anyway. Sorry, These are. I also have what do I call it? A CBO I work with, whereby we visit juveniles a lot. So inside committee, there's 2 juveniles. There's a juvenile for boys and there's a juvenile for girls. You'll find that in the juvenile for boys, it's called YCTC. Majority of the cases are whereby you have a daughter who is 15. I have a son who is roughly the same age, 15 or 16. So you report my son to the police station for hitting on your daughter. But then my son will be arrested and he'll be taken to the juvenile for, it's normally a span of 3 to 6 months. So my son, I'm sorry, is at fault for hitting on your daughter and even maybe impregnating, but your daughter will be left at home whilst they made this decision together. The juvenile for girls does not have such cases. None at all. True.
The juvenile for girls only has cases of murder, cases of failed abortions, cases of suicide, cases of actual crimes. But then the boys, you'll find they have small crimes like hitting on girls, their teenage girls, their age.
Yeah, so those are actually the challenges that we deal with, like I was saying. So you see, for that, it is more of, do we enable? So let's say Mimi, like you're saying, let's say you're the mother to this daughter. Why would you have this, like we mtoto Charlie? At the end of the day, unfortunately, to say this man is supposed to grow and should marry, we consider marry mwanamke mwingine. So now you've already kind of scarred the boy.
Yeah.
So we are out here, we are empowering women, we are taking, and everything. I'm not saying that is a problem. I am a woman, definitely I am enjoying, yes. And these spaces that we do have right now, we definitely are grateful for them. But we need to have men who match the same energy, who are aware, who are also empowered. A man that, can be able to voice out. Let's say, I always say there is descriptive representation and substantive, in the sense that, like the other day we were having, there was this, going around the way Rwanda, women, encourage, or they've endorsed, wife battering, and if you don't cook well, you get beaten. If you don't do junini, if let's say your husband has wronged you, wherever mwanamke, you're supposed to apologize to the husband for him getting angry at you for a mistake that he did. So you see, and I was telling someone, that is that it actually shows that representation, descriptive representation, does not translate to gender equality. What do I mean? We do have the notion that we have to see women mahali. Let's say if it is a photo, we're like, why is it all men? Mwanamke tu ni mmoja. There is more men than women. No. In Rwanda, it actually leads globally. It leads in terms of, female representation in leadership position. But wanawake wao wanapigwa, and they endorse it. So what do I mean? In Kenya, we don't have quite, wanawake yes wako, but we haven't reached that level that we want to. We are fighting just for a third. Okay, but we do have voices. Hakuna venye you can comfortably beat a woman and they can comfortably endorse it. We have at least the policies, the space to be able to talk out. Rwanda doesn't have opportunity to do my dress, my choice. We do have, So I say sometimes it is important, it is crucial to empower both men and women, so that even a woman, if I am not in that space, in that room at that moment, this empowered man is able to speak on my behalf. Okay, and that is, for us to end GBV, we really need to have men at the same platform, at the same space, with the same, mindset on where we are going. So tukichampion hii journey, tunatembea pamoja, si ati nyinyi mnatembea na wengine wako nyuma. Yes.
So what do you think we can do differently as a society?
Like I said, most importantly, let's just have men in this conversation to begin with. Two, we need to have like a retrospection. As much as we are calling people out, sisi wenyewe, what are we doing different? Do we help people, victims of GBV? Tunasaidianga watu kwenda polisi. When we find people at the police station, do we judge first? Tunakwanga like, kwani kwanza nini ilifanyika? Don't we take care of the victim kwanza, and then tutauliza mambo ya kufanyika baadaye. Huyu anahitaji usaidizi. Let's focus on the victim, do what is needed. And then like mimi your champion, shame and name the perpetrator. If your friend, your cousin, your father, your brother is a perpetrator, wewe wacha kuficha ati
unajua ni wetu, si family,
atafanya kitu he is just a perpetrator. If your sister, your nini anapiganga bwana yake, anamchoma, anamwekea nini kwa chakula, anashinda ameendesha the whole week, your sister, is a perpetrator. Wacha huyo mwanamke akue shamed and named. So that people out there, when they meet them, you are a perpetrator. Until you change,
you are a cause of the problem.
Yes, until those people go through therapy.
Actually, you are part of the problem.
Mpaka wapitie hiyo process, waende therapy nini, and we get to know that yes, you've changed. It's not like people cannot change, but before you're just a perpetrator, and we call you as you perpetrator. Yes.
You are doing the wrong thing.
Yes.
Now moving forward, the individuals who would want to be part of Gender Inc. on these 16 days of activism, how do they tag along? How do they join Gender Inc.?
Okay, so joining Gender, one, you can support the fundraising, the t-shirts we do have. Number two, like I said, we are having conversations on issues of your gender, how to do retrospection, how to be able to identify. So you can join in those. You can share videos, you can tag us, we reshare, retweet, izozote. We are working on something on doing shows, like having conversation just about gender issues kwa streets and all. If someone wants anataka kuongea, they can reach out to us, we'll get to them. And then definitely if you're a victim and you just want to share your story, you just want to talk anonymously, or you want watu wajue that you're a survivor, we also do that. So they can reach out, they can join us. Yes.
What do we expect from Gender Inc. in the coming days, now after 16 days of activism?
Okay, we never actually, Gender Inc. hatujai maliza issues of GBV. It's a year-round thing for us. We champion about that every other day. But what to expect out of GBV package? We are looking to have from top down, ama saizi tuko bottom up. We are looking to have understanding of gender cutting across through. Tunakwanga tu like, the rural women. What about the modern woman?
Yes.
What about mwanamke mwenye anaishi Nairobi? Don't they have gender issues?
They do.
Yes, ule wa rural, yes, and the issues of water, firewood collection and all. We were urban city. Are we talking about high cost of living? Are we talking about, the way they work on a high rates of sexual violence? Are we talking about how they get sexually harassed at the offices?
Yeah.
So we are trying to see how we can communicate and create awareness about gender issues, not necessarily on GBV, but just being aware of the rights, of the policies, of the freedoms, of the offices that you can take advantage of, kwa county, kwa nini, gender desks that are available through counties, vitu kama hizo.
Speaking of which, individuals who are victims, how do they reach out to you? Like, do you offer services, quick response services, whereby if you're a wife being battered, if you're a husband being battered, or if you're seeing a child being harassed, a child being taken into child marriage, do you offer immediate response services?
Yes, we do, but we do it in partnership.
Okay.
So when we do have a victim, we have a rescue center that we partner with. So definitely, kama you're in the same environment na abuser ma hapo ndio unaishi hapo ndio home, we'll definitely move you from there to the rescue center. Then we also partner with the legal firm, so they support the victims that have passed through us, what our support through the whole process of legal cases, nini and everything. So when we send them to the rescue center, they get assigned a case worker. So at our walk through all of that, they do have definitely therapy services, talking about, just kuwasaidia mentally to, get better. So from the case worker, they're able to follow up on nini, kuwapeleka hospitali, back and forth checkups, nini. And then, the legal firm will now walk them through it all. Mpaka wa exit system. So when they exist, we definitely do follow up. Kuna wale wenye some you can do that and they'll still choose to go back to home. They've forgiven, so that's a different conversation. Those ones who don't go back home, we look on how we can give them startup capital, wajianzishe. The other organizations that we partner with in terms of technical, vocational training, at least to party services. And if there are people who, let's say, they have technical background on particular issues, we do connect with the different organization. Kama huyu maybe akona background ya accounting, background ya nini, tunakuwa like you can just have this person for a while as they unaona your experience to avoid the civica. Yes, so that is what we do for them.
Wow. As we wind up, where can we get you on social media, a website, a phone number?
Okay, social media, your organization is just Gender Inc. all through platforms. Phone number is 0715 024475. That is number to Gender Inc. Yes.
As we wind up, I'd like to read some feedback. We have Elvis Makoha having a cuppa, enjoying the show. I'm glad you enjoy. There's a woman, a very powerful woman from, she's from southern Malawi. She is the first woman to end over 50% of child marriage in Malawi. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yes.
But she's managed to break over 850 child marriages in a very short period of time. So I'd like to shout out to that woman.
Oh, yes, yes.
I'd like to give her
a great work.
I know. I'd like to give her a big shout out in regards to ensuring that children make it to finish their education and they are not married while they're still young.
True.
This is as today's, because I believe it's part of gender-based violence.
Yes, it is.
It is, yeah.
Yes, it falls under forms of gender-based violence. We call that harmful practices, traditional practices.
Yes.
So child marriage, FGM, virginity test,
Wow. So she's a woman crush Wednesday for today.
Oh, that is beautiful.
She is a woman crush Wednesday for today. Thank you so much for joining us, Susan. Thank you for sharing with us the knowledge. Mesama Gender Inc. across all platforms.
Yes.
So thank you once again. We really, it's ink, INK. Someone is asking.
Yes,
Inki ya kuandika.
Yes, inki hiyo ya karatasi, ile ya pen, ile tulikuwa tunatumia primary and then it gets you blue.
Yes.
Hiyo.
So Gender Inc. is a place to be. Make sure you support the cause that they have for the hashtag 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. Thank you so much for tuning in up until this far. Do not touch that dial. I will be coming back with Brianna and Nancy. Today we've had a lot. I hope you've learned a lot. I hope you've enjoyed the conversation.
Yes, I
Maybe
have.
a word of parting shot as we wind up.
Let's just end gender-based violence.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you, Suzanne.
Thank you too.
I will be seeing you after this short break.